Let me take you back to a moment that most people would kill for. I was 26. Founder. Boss. First million in the bank. A growing company. Talented team. Open office. Closed hearts. On paper, I was winning. But I remember sitting there one day, after another overworked employee dropped their resignation on my desk, and asking myself, is this it? Is this the dream? Stress, burnout, high turnover, and me, quietly wondering why it all felt so damn empty. Was this what I signed up for? Was this what success was supposed to feel like? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. I had everything, except a reason. I built a business, but I forgot to build meaning. That was the day I made a different choice. I decided, no more chasing attention. I wanted intention. And that's what today's story is about. Because the difference between winning and feeling like a winner is purpose. Let me show you. You might know the name Andre Agassi from the outside. Tennis legend. Multi-time Grand Slam champion. Married to Demi Moore. Poster boy for Nike. More hair than a rock band from the 80s. But guess what? He hated tennis. Yup, hated it. He was 4 years old when his dad, a former boxer, built a ball machine called the Dragon. This beast shot 2,500 balls at little Andre every single day. Not because Andre loved the game, but because his father needed a champion in the family and forced him to hit those balls. So Agassi became number one. He rebelled. He wore neon. He played in jeans. He tried to get expelled from tennis school. He did everything to stop playing tennis. Didn't matter. He kept winning. But he just wasn't living. And that emptiness, it followed him all the way to the top. Until one day, after his divorce, a drop out of the top 100 and the death of his father, he stopped. He met Steffi Graf. And for the first time, he asked, what if I use this talent not to win, but to contribute? He built tennis schools. He played with joy. And, irony of ironies, he became world number one again. Not for his dad, not for Nike, but for a purpose he finally owned. Now meet Cristiano Ronaldo. Born in the slums of Madeira. Dad was an alcoholic. Mom tried to abort. More than once. At 15, he had a heart condition that almost ended everything. But Ronaldo didn't believe in limits, only in effort. He trained with weights on his ankles to improve his dribbling. Showed up first, left last, got faster with age, which, let's be honest, should be illegal after 30. But here's the twist. It wasn't just about glory. His real dream, to help people, to use his fame to do good, to lift others, not just trophies. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't play football. He plays for something bigger. And then there's Jaggi Vasudev, aka Sadhguru, a yogi, a mystic. The man answers existential dread with the calmness of a nap. When someone asked, what matters more, faith, luck, or effort? His answer was simple. You can't control faith. You can't control luck. And God? Well, that's above your pay grade. But effort is yours. And that's what purpose is. Putting effort into something that makes sense to your soul. Not just your spreadsheet. So here's the question. I hope you're brave enough to ask, are you chasing success or living with purpose? Because one of those will only fill your bank account. The other will fill your heart, your life, and keep your bank account full. I don't care if you're a business owner, an athlete, a full-time parent, or a barista with a dream. If what you're doing has no pulse behind it, you'll wake up one day with a full calendar and an empty heart. But when you find the thing that matters, and you pour yourself into it, with discipline, joy, and unreasonable effort, You don't just win, you become worth following. So if you're standing at a crossroads right now, you're staring at your goals and wondering why they feel like chores, do yourself a favor. Forget the applause. Forget the algorithm. Forget the next shiny thing. Ask a quieter question. What would I do even if no one clapped? Then start there. And I promise, you'll find that thing that makes you unstoppable. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Let me tell you something most people never learn in school. Purpose isn't a lightning bolt. It's not something you wake up with one day, written on your bathroom mirror. And no, it's not always some noble, world-changing mission either. Sometimes purpose is just a quiet, consistent yes to the question, does this matter to me? So how do you find it? Not by chasing status, not by trying to impress your dad, your ex, or your LinkedIn feed. You find it by paying attention to three things. 1. What makes you angry? Yes, angry. The things that frustrate you often point to the things that matter most to you. If injustice makes your blood boil, maybe you're wired to bring fairness. If you hate clutter, maybe you're meant to bring clarity. If shallow conversations drain you, maybe depth is your thing. Where there's fire, there's usually something worth fighting for. 2. What breaks your heart? Pain doesn't just hurt, it reveals. The moments that made you cry might also be the seeds of what you're here to change. You don't have to save the world, but you can sure as hell serve it in your own way. 3. What makes you come alive? And I don't mean excited. I mean alive. Lit up. In flow. The thing you do, even if no one paid you, even if no one clapped, even if no one understood it. That's the clue most people ignore. Because when you follow that thread, that quiet inner pull, you end up somewhere real. So no, purpose isn't always sexy. It's not a Netflix-ready speech or an Instagrammable moment. Sometimes it's just this. I want to bring calm into chaos. I want to make people laugh, even on the worst days. I want to help one kid feel less alone. That's enough. Because purpose isn't measured in volume, but in alignment. And here's what happens when you start living from that place. You stop chasing applause and start following conviction. You stop asking, what do they think of me? And start asking, what impact do I want to leave behind? You stop breaking from pressure because you've got something stronger underneath, a reason. People feel it. They don't always know what it is, but they lean in. Purpose does that. It gives you clarity when things get messy, courage when things get scary, and energy, real energy, when the to-do list feels endless. Because now, you're not just working for a paycheck, a deadline, or someone else's dream. You're working for something. Want to know if you found your purpose? Ask yourself this. Would I still do it? Even if no one clapped? Would I still care? Even if no one noticed? Would I still show up? Even if it didn't look impressive? If the answer is yes, then you found something better than attention. You found intention. And that's where your power lives. And if you're still searching for your purpose, don't panic. You're not late. You're not broken. You're just between chapters. For me, it started when success stopped feeling like enough. When the applause got quieter and the questions got louder. And somewhere between burnout and breakthrough, I realized something. I don't just love communication. I believe in it. Because where there's misunderstanding, there's distance. And where there's distance, potential gets stuck. So I started sharing what I knew, not to be impressive, but to be useful. I became a strategist, a coach, a speaker. I built schools in places where curiosity still sleeps on a dirt floor. And this screen, this message, this moment is part of that same purpose, to free potential, to make insight accessible, to help someone, maybe you, remember who they are when the noise fades. So, wherever you are in your journey, if you found your fire, or you're still fumbling for the match, just don't give up. Because the moment you live with intention, you become the kind of person who doesn't just make a living, but makes a difference. And trust me, that's the only kind of success that ever really sticks.